Ain't no stopping this podcast from dropping. We here to get that work. Welcome, guys, to In Your House, and I am your director, Hollywood Howse, and you already know what we do. When we slide through, we hit you with that work, round the clock. You already know them vibes, y'all, and we do it so well because we managed to give it to you maybe you on a plane, maybe you at work, maybe you just driving, maybe you cruising on a Sunday, maybe you heading in and you trying to drown out some of these co-workers. You know how it gets, the job gets a little stressful. Guys, all you need to do is pop us in your ears. And let us give you that work when it comes to professional wrestling. And guys, it's time for us to slide back in because it is Tuesday. You know what that means. That's right, it's time for a Hollywood solo shot where I give you my opinions and thoughts on things going on in professional wrestling over the past week. Now, of course, I give you this solo shot on Tuesday. Then me and my man, Hypocrisy Jones, greatest co-host in the podcast realm, slide through for a little Wednesday night Facebook Live going into Twitch. And guys, go ahead and follow that Twitch. That is at twitch.com/TeamIYH. And go ahead and follow the movie on over to Twitch because we really need you to help us grow. And then we go ahead and hit you with that podcast work Thursday morning as the Wednesday night transitions into a podcast on Thursday morning. Then on Friday, we're back on Twitch again for Friday Night Hype, and you get a chance to see my man Hypocrisy Jones, and also you get a little taste of the voice, Josh Joseph, sliding through on Friday Night Hype. And of course, the page. You already know them vibes with the page. 32,000 followers, and that is led by my man Jushin Credible. So we got a crack team here, but now as that guy, as the namesake, In Your House, Hollywood Howse, it's time for me to give you that Tuesday work with the solo shot. And there's a lot to talk about, y'all, most definitely. I mean, Backlash is going to be heavy on this episode. I gotta talk about it, and I'm sure me and my man Hype will talk about it, and we'll go into depth. And we'll really break things down. But of course, I got to give you my thoughts. I'm going to talk about that. Then also a little bit later on in the episode, I'm going to be talking about the Monday Night Raw that followed. Of course, you guys know this past weekend it was announced that we had a couple of triple threat matches in a World Heavyweight Championship tournament to get to May 27th, which of course is going to be in Saudi Arabia for Night of Champions. And we got a lot of setup for Monday Night Raw for that show. And I'm going to get to that later, but I want to talk Backlash. Man, what a show. What a good show. My goodness, I'm excited to talk about it. I really am, because we talk about it was a good show. That crowd, that crowd in Puerto Rico, man, they were wild. They were like, oh my gosh, they're on another level. And they just made the show, People say all the time, and I'm a firm believer of it, that if you have a hot crowd, that just enhances your show. The juices are flowing, the adrenaline is running in the arena, the adrenaline is running with the people that are performing, just high scale. It feels like nobody's phoning it in moments like that. And that contributes to a show in my eyes. And man, we really saw that with this Puerto Rican crowd. They're absolutely incredible. I mean, crowd of the year? I mean, do we do that? I mean, we should do that, because I think we got some great stuff at Elimination Chamber when they were up there in Canada for Sami Zayn and his main event and more. These international crowds, see, here's what I say about that. I'm definitely going to get to the show. But here's what I say about that. I think that us as American wrestling fans, we go to shows and a lot of these places, they're just going to go. It's a little jaded, but because these fans in the international markets, they don't get wrestling like that, they're absolutely nuts for it. Like you give them a little taste of it and they go absolutely crazy, as to where us in the States, we get it every single week, a lot of times a week. Like there is such a saturation on professional wrestling. It's oversaturated here in America, as a matter of fact. But it's entertainment, so we keep it going. Monday nights, you got it on Tuesday nights, you got it on Wednesday nights, you got it on Thursday nights with Impact. Friday nights, then Saturday shows, then Sunday shows that you can go to, that can be frequenting your hometown at any given time, depending on the schedule and their travel, the way they're setting up their schedule, because it's got to make sense. You can't have them doing a show. You can't constantly have them doing a show in California and then flying out to Florida for a Wednesday night show or something like that. Just off the top of my head, but it's got to flow. You know what I'm saying? They got to go to California, then they got to go to Texas, then they move to Louisiana, and they're moving towards, and they're moving around. It's a tour, it's a trip, you know what I'm saying? So you guys get that, but I'm just breaking it down for you guys in order to say that we get a lot of wrestling in those places overseas, the Canadas, the Puerto Ricos, the UKs and whatnot. They don't get it like that. So when we get a chance to go to places like that and see a crowd like this, it just makes the show better. And that was the case here with Backlash. And we had a lot of cool moments. This might be one of the better Backlashes I've seen in recent memory. I think a couple of stars were made coming out of this Backlash. One of them being Io Sky. Io Sky had a match against Bianca Belair, and sometimes the crowd just chooses who they want. And on this night, the Puerto Rican crowd, they wanted Io Sky. It's the truth. They wanted Io Sky really badly. As much as we love Bianca Belair, and a lot of us do, she's had that title for a really long time, and now she is the longest reigning champ. I don't know if we're going to see a title swap or what's going to happen, but I think Io Sky was made as a star. I say Io Star because she was made into a star that night in my eyes. I mean, she had a great showing. She's no stranger to a main event. I mean, I do believe she's beat Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat match and back in NXT. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And those are two heavy hitters right there. One of them currently being a champion, one of them being a multi-time champion. So Io Sky is no slouch, and she's no stranger to picking up big victories and being in that spotlight. Io Sky was made, in my eyes, even with a little bit of interference here and there. Once again, we'll break it down a little bit more on Wednesday night, but I just think the match was good, and Io Sky ultimately came out of it looking like, okay, we can run her solo. It already seems like that's kind of the direction that they're going in. They're advertising Bayley and Dakota Kai to go and fight for the women's tag team championships. And what's next for Io Sky is going to be the question. Could Io Sky eventually win that championship? Bayley be involved somehow? And this is how we turn Io Sky face, right? Bayley's maybe guilt tripping her into saying, I'm the reason that you won the championship. I helped you win. And Io's got to prove, to herself and to everybody else that she can do it on her own. She's got to prove that she can stand on her own too. And I think that's something that we can see as far as a great storyline, where where Io wins the championship, but you have Bayley just lurking over her like, hey, yeah, I'm your friend, but you got something that I want. And we'll see how sneaky Bayley can be. I think that's the right vibe right there in my eyes, but what they do is whatever they do. So once again, this match was incredible. The crowd was hot. We got some holy shit chants. I mean, it was just a wild match. Great stuff. Of course, like I said, Damage Control's Bayley and Dakota Kai came out, and looking at it, it makes you think, they kind of played up, did Bayley's help actually hurt Dakota Kai? Is that what we're thinking happened? Was there something that miscommunication going to be the rift in Damage Control? Hey, we're most definitely going to see. Man, once again, I just got to say that this was a good show. This crowd was amazing. I mean, the crowd was the highlight of the night, and it's great stuff. And we saw again another match that when this match was announced, it was a little random, right? Like we're all like, why? But what it turned into was a good feud, a short term feud to get us through to after Backlash. It gave Seth Rollins something to do, and I think that was the main goal, is they wanted to give him something to do. So they gave him Omos, and they turned it into a little bit of something. Once again, I hype up this crowd. Seth Rollins, his everybody singing his song. And it's just what they've been doing. Seth Rollins is the most over guy in the company. I've said it again. He's going to be the guy to be your first world heavyweight champion. I think that it's just the right move, and everybody's going to say, oh, it's obvious. And that's kind of the trend of what we're going to be saying or what I'm going to be saying on this episode, is that sometimes the obvious thing is the best thing. I mean, I'm going to touch on this a little bit later. Sometimes the obvious thing is still the best thing. You don't need to M. Night Shyamalan everything. Sometimes we just got to get to A, B, and C. But I thought that this match was what it was. It was a pretty good match. Big man versus somebody who can fly like Seth Rollins. It was a situation where I had said in the past that I think that Rollins needed to pick up this victory. And my man Hype, he was in the mindset that Rollins needs some adversity. Well, I think they're going with that other side, where instead of adversity, they're just going to make him look strong going into May 27th, Night of Champions, as he picked up a big win against Omos. But Omos didn't look worse for wear coming out of it. I mean, he kicked out of two stomps, and they played it up really well on commentary. So, and Omos got a lot of good offense in. So I don't think Omos looked terrible coming out of this. It took a lot. It took a lot for Rollins to beat Omos. So it wasn't just like, oh, one stomp and you're done. And this is a big guy. He's somebody who should be kept strong, kept protected, especially still, picking everything up. And I think Omos is getting there. I don't got no problem with Omos. He's finally standing on his two. They gave him a mouthpiece with MVP, and that works really well. I think that it's good for Omos to be protected in this way, so that way once he gets to that point, it's not already too late and people aren't seeing him as credible. So I think that he still looks like a threat. Rollins looked like a dog coming out of this match, like somebody who should be in contention for the World Heavyweight Championship and is. And I just thought it was right. I just thought it was good stuff, honestly. MVP trying to do what he does, but it ultimately took us a big super stomp from the top to get the win. So once again, I think he looked fine coming out of it, him being Omos, and it was what it was. Once again, this was a night of moments. This was a night of energy. Crowd was big. Everything felt big in this event in Puerto Rico. Backlash is usually a pay-per-view where it's like, okay, we could take a show off. At least that's what it's felt like in the past. Let's just give them, a bunch of rematches and whatnot, and from Mania or not, or just do something completely. This was fine. This was a good show, and it made sense. The booking was good on it. Not everything was great as far as the booking aspect, and I'll talk about that. But as far as the matches goes, they were pretty doggone good. And we kind of continued that right there with Bronson Reed, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory, triple threat match for the United States Championship. I mean, this was another great match. Austin Theory comes out of that match the winner, as I had already thought was gonna happen. And it's a situation where Lashley came up with the spear on Reed. Theory threw Lashley through the ropes onto the floor, and Reed he picked up the pin on Reed and got the win himself. I mean, classic heel tactics. I mean, we're not really reinventing, the rules here, or reinventing the wheel here. That is, by doing that, but it makes sense to me, and sometimes making sense is just enough. A heel comes in, takes advantage of a big moment, big finishing move on Bronson Reed from Bobby Lashley to finish the match, and the heel, the chicken shit heel, takes advantage and tosses, Bobby out of the ring. Theory takes the pin, takes the win, keeps the United States Championship, and he's going to go to SmackDown with said championship, as I already felt was going to happen, and we're just going to keep rolling and keep moving forward as far as Theory as a credible United States champion. You got to let that storyline play out with the Bloodline title. The titles are involved, with Roman being involved. It's always going to be a thing there, and I just don't think Austin Theory is in the realm of possibility. Both was one thing with them both being heels, but two things with him being somebody who I don't see as somebody who could beat Roman Reigns, to be quite honest. And I like Austin Theory, I really do, but he's not there yet. I got to tell you somebody who got shot to the top and maybe felt like she wasn't there yet, but now she absolutely is. It's Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, the SmackDown Women's Champion that's on Raw, but but she had a match against Zelina Vega, and Rhea Ripley really owned the heel role really well, as did later on Damian Priest. Zelina Vega, this was her moment. I mean, she came out with the Puerto Rican flag around her arms and the gear and everything, and it was emotional. It was real emotional, She got emotional. She received a big pop and greeting from family members at ringside, and the formal ring introduction, and fans cheered really loudly, and it was just a great moment for her. Once again, I think that it's a situation where stars were made, and the crowd makes stars. And we saw that with Io Sky. We saw it again with Zelina Vega. As Zelina Vega, not to say that Zelina Vega never had that it factor, because I always thought that she did in her heel work. But now we're seeing it on a bigger stage. She's getting that big moment. Now it's like, what's next for Zelina Vega? She's somebody who really benefited from this show, as did Io Sky, I think. And I think it's a moment where WWE management needs to look at it and be like, was this just because they're in Puerto Rico, or is there something there? And you got to test those waters. You got to see if it's a little bit more than just that one crowd. You got to see. Everybody's going to say, oh, well, she only got that pop because he was at home. Okay, well, you got to carry off that. Let's see if this is something that continues if we push her on different shows and different areas of the world. Let's see what kind of reaction that she gets. And her being a part of the LWO, she's looking at Rey Mysterio as her mentor right now. Rey Mysterio is going to probably give her all that knowledge that he possibly can, along with the other members of the LWO. I mean, what happened a little bit later on in the night is really telling you that they're getting serious about this LWO thing. So this is something that she could definitely learn from and grow from, as far as all the people or the stars that have affiliated themselves with the LWO later on in the night. Of course, they played on commentary that Vega's dedicating the match to her father, who passed away in the 9/11 attacks. And, once again, this is a case where I feel like Vega is... We saw a lot from Vega. I mean, it was a great match. They put on a good match. She even did the 619 for a big pop. The Eddie taunt. She hit all the marks as far as the world of Latino culture and professional wrestling. Not every single one, but the ones that that's mainstream and whatnot. Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, and paying that homage, to the ones who came before her and her culture, which is a beautiful thing. But at the end of the day, It was Ripley who came out with the win. Ripley is the one that they're pushing in the long term. That she's the girl right now. She's the one. She's the one where they're like, all right, you got over big time with everything you're doing with Judgment Day, with Dom, with this mommy thing. I mean, she's there, and like you got to keep that going. Rhea Ripley is, she's the one right now, and you got to give her an opportunity to run it as a champion and as the leader of the women's division. I think we're going to see ahead. So once again, good match. Rhea Ripley comes out with the win. Hits her with the Riptide in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3, as we've seen before between these two, and it just was what it was, But she had her moment, her being Zelina Vega, as Ripley makes her exit. She's getting out of there, giving Vega her moment. She's still emotional, waving to the crowd, and the crowd is giving her love back. It was a great moment. So Zelina Vega, even though she didn't win the title, she didn't lose either, if you know what I mean. I mean, she won big from this situation. That's got to be a huge morale boost to be able to have that moment. Even in a losing effort, and it's got to make you think that they're going to be moving forward with what they can do with Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega is somebody who is she's a big time nerd, big time gamer, cosplayer, Twitch, and of course they now have that deal with Twitch, them being the WWE, and this is a chance for her to really gain steam on that, on her wrestling career as well. I think Zelina Vega is somebody who's a smart person and knows how to market her passions. So Zelina Vega understands what she's got to do. It's just WWE's got to give her that spot, and it's got to be her turn to be able to be the head of the women's division. And I think it's coming a lot sooner than what we think. Man, once again, I feel like that this show was a star maker. I mean, I just talked about Zelina Vega. I just talked about Io Sky as far as being made. I got to talk about somebody who also is a huge star, one of the hugest stars in the world, but his star grew brighter in this moment, and that's Bad Bunny, as what they call, I believe, the most streamed artist of all time. I think that's what they're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But Bad Bunny, his star just grew much, much brighter as he went up against Damian Priest in the San Juan street fight. And man, I gotta tell you, this match was amazing. Everything that happened, Bad Bunny was over. From them singing his entrance song, I mean, I had goosebumps. I had absolute goosebumps. I think I even put into the In Your House group chat, holy shit, this is beautiful, because it was beautiful, Daddy. And man, I am telling you, this moment for Bad Bunny just made him look legit, made him look like a star. He came out with the shopping cart of weapons ready for the smoke. I mean, and let me just say that Damian Priest, we talked a little bit about Damian Priest having his moment. We talked about that last week. We talked about how he didn't have a match at WrestleMania. Man, I got to tell you, the trade-off was beautiful here, because that man got a chance to have a big moment there in Puerto Rico in front of his home crowd with somebody he considers one of his friends in Bad Bunny. And man, it was just a cool vibe. Damian Priest is somebody who I think his star grew out of it. Once again, this show gave us the possible evolution of many stars. So that's one of the reasons why I love this show as much as I did, because I think that we're seeing some blossoming and some blooming from some of these talents, and getting to that next level, to the next level of stardom that they need to get to. And that's what I really noticed. I do believe that the fans make the stars, and I think that this Puerto Rican crowd made many. Please go back to Puerto Rico and give us moments like we had with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. I mean, Bad Bunny, he holds his own in the ring. I mean, they wanted to give him that moment where he can have his match, and he had it. I mean, this guy is somebody who I can tell respects the business. Of course, he came out with weapons. He, had the kendo stick with the Puerto Rican flag on it. I think that was great. We saw some Michinoku drivers. That was great stuff. I mean, Bunny even him being him, he was still, thumb into the eye and whatnot. He was the guy in this match. I mean, we saw a lot of things. We saw a whole lot of things. We also saw the LWO get involved. We saw Judgment Day get involved. And we saw other members of the LWO get involved. I mean, man, we got a chance to see Savio Vega, which was incredible, and the big pops that he got. We got a chance to see Carlito. This was a well-kept secret in my eyes. Huge pop. I mean, he looks great. I was just at a show with him last year over in Muncie, Indiana, and I got a chance to call one of his matches during this indie show, and man, he looks incredible. Still in great shape. I really hope WWE continues to do something with him. We got a chance to see him spit the apple in the face of, I believe it was Dominic Mysterio, and it was just a great moment. Honestly, this should have main evented, period. It should have main evented. It was a great, great match. Damian Priest was a great dance partner for Bad Bunny, and man, I just think that we're seeing something here with Bad Bunny, man. I know we're not going to see him all the time, but I kind of wish we would. Because he's just doing such great things, man. Having fun. I can tell that he's having fun. I mean, it's got to be an amazing feeling to come out. I mean, Bad Bunny had a figure 4, bro. Like, he's a figure 4 in this man. That's crazy. Like, and to come out into your home crowd, everybody singing your song, there's got to be no bigger feeling than I am that guy, man, a star, man. He was a star. We got a chance to see a big pop, Carlito, Savio, Ray, the LWO, Bad Bunny celebrating. They put Bunny on the shoulders. It was just an incredible moment. I mean, the fact that anything had to go after this, it was just, it stinks. But, these things happen, man. I mean, sometimes you just don't get it right. And they billed it as a main event. They said it was a double main event, but it wasn't even like, I guess they wanted to break it off because this was so huge that the Bloodline versus Matt Riddle and the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, like, it was almost like a blip. I mean, it wasn't a bad match, but like I think the crowd was probably tired, so it ended up being a low point, which is okay because they've been doing a whole lot with the Bloodline storyline. They've been doing a whole lot with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Matt Riddle, and I think they're still going to continue to tell that story, but how are they going to tell it? Maybe they did want to kind of blow it off because it already seems like Sammy and Kevin are moving in a different direction. It already seems like the Bloodline is going to be moving in a different direction with the dissension that we saw between the Usos and their brother Solo. So I think that we might be seeing them go their separate ways. Yes, the Bloodline picked up the win, which that's not what I predicted. I thought that either Solo was going to turn or they had another situation where it was a miscommunication and they just couldn't get it right again, and it ended up with Matt Riddle and the tag team champion Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens taking advantage. And that's not what we saw. We still saw the Bloodline pick up a victory with the saving grace being Solo Sikoa. And the way they're pushing Solo is interesting. They love everything that they're doing with him. This man is looking like a boss. He's looking like he can go on his own more and more all the time. What's going to happen with him and Roman when he returns on Friday night? I mean, right now he's in the highest of favors by taking care of business every single time where the Usos aren't. That's gonna make SmackDown must see, honestly. So still a lot of good came out of it, even though it came at a strange point after a huge match with Carlito and Savio Vega and Rey Mysterio all and sharing the same ring, with Bad Bunny having a great match against Damian Priest. I mean, in Puerto Rico. I mean, that's the end, bro. That's the end. I mean, and it's, you're gonna make mistakes like that. It happens. It happens. But like, you really want that to end the show because everything else after that is gonna feel lackluster. And that even kind of continued with the main event itself, Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. Even though I stood strong with my pick of Cody picking up the victory against Brock Lesnar. Still, it wasn't decisive enough. It came off of using Lesnar's own weight against him to turn it into a pin after, he was in the submission, the Kimura lock. And he just used his own weight against him and pretty much won out of nowhere, so it wasn't that decisive. Yes, he picked up the win, but now I think we're going to go into the next phase of the Cody and Brock rivalry, which I'm going to talk about here really soon when I talk about Monday Night Raw on the other side of break. Once again, this was a pretty great show with the crowd reactions and whatnot. Puerto Rico was an incredible crowd. They really brought it. Definitely a place that they need to go back to. I hope that they do. I think that they should. And yeah, man, I feel like that this was one of the better backlashes that I got a chance to see. We'll talk a little bit more and break things down a little bit more on Wednesday night, on the Thursday morning edition of the podcast. But Wednesday night, we're going to be on Facebook Live, and then we're going to switch over to Twitch exclusively. And we're not going to be on Facebook Live much longer, guys. Once we get everything where we want to be, it's going to be straight up on Twitch. So come and follow us for now until you get a chance to switch on over. But guys, once again, I feel like that Backlash was a great show. And it was a memorable show there in Puerto Rico. And I think it's something, once again, that they should do again and definitely come back to. But in terms of coming back, I got to bounce out for a little bit, then come back. And when I do come back, I'm going to talk a little bit of the Monday Night Raw, the first one. Everything in the draft is supposed to be taking effect. We're going to see how that holds up. But when I come back, we're going to talk about the Monday Night Raw after Backlash. Hey guys, it's your boy, the director, Howse of In Your House. And I'm here to let you know about a small business that produces beard products and also supports small stage, independent, professional wrestling stars. It's called Ring Master Beard Company. Try one of their several scents, beard oils, balms, or mustache wax, and keep your beard looking and feeling sweet. Purchase your favorite wrestlers or personalities' personalized scent, and they receive a portion of each sale. And with that being said, don't forget to pick up a bottle of the Director in Alakan House Special. Your boy, a blend of eucalyptus, mint, and tea tree oil. Have your beard feeling fresh. Have your beard feeling smooth. Just like your boy, the Director. Follow Ringmaster Beard Company on Twitter and Instagram at Ringmaster Beard, or on their Facebook page, and that is Ringmaster Beard Company. Check it out. Get your beard cream. Hit your beard with that. Because sometimes being a master in the ring means mastering your beard. Welcome back to In Your House, and you already know who it is. That's right, it's your boy Hollywood House, where I'm here to give you that work. Hey, work. Hey, sometimes the music just takes you over, but guys, I gotta do my due diligence, and that's thank you guys. Thank you so much for making us a 5-star podcast on Apple Podcasts. It is truly appreciated. Now I need you guys to come through. All you new listeners, come through. Give us a 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Give us a comment. It's all so important. It helps us get back to where we want to get to, and it's because of you guys. The household is the reason that we were once there where we're at. Guys, I need your help and head on over to Twitch. That is twitch.com/teamIYH. Give us a follow so you can see that work over on Twitch on Wednesday nights and on Fridays with Friday Night Hype. And speaking of that, let me give you our lineup. Of course, you have Hollywood's Tuesday solo shot coming at you. And then on Wednesdays, we're going to be on Twitch. And then on Thursdays, we transfer the Twitch over to the podcast version on Thursday mornings. And then on Fridays, we're back on Twitch again with Hypes, Friday Night Hype. So you guys already know the vibes. We're giving you that constant work here at IYH. Make sure you hit that page, 32,000 strong over there on the Facebook. Guys, we making movies out here. If you want to hear another great podcast that's giving you that work, head on over to my man, and that's the Pope Elijah Burke, as he and Pollo Del Mar give you that work when it comes to their views on professional wrestling. And guys, that's Pope's point of view. That's 9:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday morning on all major podcasting platforms. And guys, you can head on over, go and get you an In Your House shirt, www.prowrestlingtees.com/inyourhouse. Come on and support the movie. You already know them vibes. We coming through. We giving you that work when it comes to professional wrestling. We love this. We've been giving it to you for almost 5 years. And guys, it ain't gonna stop anytime soon. And one thing that didn't stop was Monday Night Raw, because Monday Night don't stop. It keeps on going, and we saw that after Backlash. And guys, it was a pretty good show, I gotta be honest with you. We saw a show that was highlighted by 2 triple threat matches that starred the likes of Seth freaking Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura, Damian Priest was also involved. And then we had another triple threat match that was Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, and The Miz. And the winner of these 2 triple threat matches were destined to face off in the main event of the show, Monday Night Raw. So wrestling 2 matches in the same night, and if you win both your matches, then you advance the opportunity to go to Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia on May 27th to fight for the new World Heavyweight Championship. So we saw that. We also saw some other things. We saw the night started out with Cody Rhodes pretty much setting his sights and moving on to the World Heavyweight Championship tournament that was going to take place. We saw that happen. But we saw Seth Rollins, who is a favorite, especially with me, and I think that a lot of people kind of feel the same way. He's a favorite to win this tournament. Seth Rollins moved on and defeated Shinsuke Nakamura and Damian Priest, as Damian Priest took the stump, and we see Seth Rollins move forward. This is what we're seeing. This is what I kind of foresaw coming, and a lot of you guys did too, that they're going to position Seth Rollins to be in that World Heavyweight Championship situation. So I'm not mad at it. Once again, it's like I was saying earlier in the show, the obvious is sometimes just the best way. It really is. And I'm going to get into this. I'm getting into it now, as a matter of fact, so be ready. All right, I'm going. All right, if you want to get to D, you don't have to do A, B, C, E, F, G, H, I, J, and then try to go back to D. It's just overly convoluted. Sometimes A, B, C, and D is just the right way to go. Like, I know sometimes a twist is great when a twist is called for, and it's beautiful when it's beautifully done. But sometimes you just got to get to where you're trying to get to, and there's no point. What will be the point if this is the plan? If this is what was pre-written? If this is what they're going with? What's the point to be like, oh, well, let's swerve them for absolutely no reason just because they were expecting this to happen? Like, no, sometimes you don't do that. Sometimes you got to go with the plan. Sometimes everybody knows the plan. Sometimes the plan is just about as plain as the nose on your face, but that's what we're trying to get to. So Seth Rollins winning and moving on later on in the night makes absolute sense. It just really does. I mean, that's what we're trying to get to. So Seth Rollins moves on. We see that. We see Mustafa Ali pick up a victory against Otis. They've been trying this new gimmick with Mustafa Ali, with him being, positive Ali. We'll see where it goes and see if this is something that we can take off with, and we're gonna move on from there. So it really looks like the situation with Otis and Chad Gable and Maxine Dupree is that there's a divide happening there. So what's going to happen? What are we leading to as far as this divide? I think that's a good little story. They've been dragging it out. Like, where are we going with this? And at what point are we going to see the climax of this Otis, Chad Gable, Maximum Male Model storyline? Because they've been doing it for a little bit, but it's like, when's the time to crack this thing open? But they're continuing that, so that's what we got there. Later on, we ended up with our second triple threat match. This was another one where I gotta say, I think a lot of us knew. I said before the show that if they're doing what I think they're doing which is keeping Cody away from the World Heavyweight Championship and moving him more towards the WWE World Heavyweight Championship from Roman Reigns. I think that this is the way. This is the way. It just makes sense to do what they've done, and that's have Brock Lesnar get involved, and once again, like, we didn't see a decisive win from Cody, so of course Brock Lesnar's going to have to get his get back. He was a bloody mess in that match, and he came out with like a black eye. He was bruised up. I mean, it just looked bad for Brock. Yes, Cody picked up, I don't want to say a cheap win, because a win is a win, especially against somebody like Brock Lesnar. You got to take what you can get. But it wasn't decisive. But he sure left his mark on Brock Lesnar as far as the look on his face. And he said it. Look at my face. Look at this face. I was like, bro, where are we going? But yeah, I guess that's gonna lead to a rematch between Cody and Brock Lesnar, because now the stakes are even higher now. Like, Cody had that match won with the three crossroads onto Miz, and then getting the slow pin, and then here comes Brock and takes him out. Not one but two F5s, one being through the table, and getting challenged like this. I mean, it's taken that next level. Finn Balor takes advantage, and now Finn Balor is moving on into the main event, going up against Seth Rollins. And they're going to, compete against each other for the opportunity to go to Night of Champions to compete for the new World Heavyweight Championship. The question now is, what's the next step for Cody? How's Cody gonna? Where are we going with Cody here post Brock feud? So, who knows where we're gonna go? So what do we got? We got Night of Champions on May 27th, and then I think the very next one is Money in the Bank. And boom, boom, boom. So yeah, I think that's correct. I pulled up the PLE schedule here. So we got Night of Champions on May 27th. Then on the 1st of July, we got Money in the Bank. So like, what are we doing with this feud? Are we going to give Brock the win at Night of Champions, and then they have the rubber match at Money in the Bank? Or do we put Cody in a situation where he's in the Money in the Bank briefcase match? Now follow me here, because I'm about to throw a Hail Mary at you. What I would do is I would go ahead and let Cody get that decisive victory against Brock in at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. That's what I would do. And then my next step would be for Cody to get a little bit ingenuitive, bring his ingenuity into the situation and say, for me, the story isn't finished because I never beat Roman Reigns. And the story for me comes in Roman Reigns. He was involved in that story. He is the guy. He's the guy who kept me away from me finishing that story. So now, in order for me to properly finish the story, I have to defeat him. But the issue is, we're on separate shows. I'm on Raw, and he's on SmackDown. So, because I wanted to finish that story, I'm willing to earn my way, but I'm declaring my intentions to compete in the Money in the Bank briefcase match, and the rule has always been that if you become Mr. Money in the Bank, you have an opportunity to cash in on any champion within a year's span. So, moving forward past that, I would have Cody win the Money in the Bank briefcase and go the good guy route, right? Like, let's go the RVD route where I'm making my intentions clear. I'm not going to sneak up on you. I'm going to let you know when I'm doing it. And Cody being that good guy, being that white meat babyface character that he's kind of playing, and he's playing it really well, he would make his intentions and say, I want my chance to finish the story. I intend to cash in on Roman Reigns at SummerSlam in Detroit, Michigan. And that'll be the opportunity right there for Cody to finish the story. Hey, I know I just threw a whole Hail Mary at you, but hey, it's not bad storytelling. It's not. You know, if it goes in with the rules and they continue to push, and they might even do that on commentary too, leading up to Money in the Bank. They might play on commentary where you can cash in on any champion, because you know they have to have those little buzzwords in there to kind of, you know, sit on your brain and make you remember it. So maybe leading up to Money in the Bank, they're always putting it in our brain. You can cash in on any championship. You can cash in on any championship. You can cash in on any championship. And boom, that's the story right there. You've just implanted a story, a way for Cody to be clever, not duck the hard way, not duck the hard way, take the easy way, and not saying that there's nothing like, once again, like we said, the World Heavyweight Championship, this is a situation where the guy is going to have to make the title. And if it was Cody, it would always definitely feel like second place to Roman. But with somebody like Seth, this is somebody who's hot, ready to go, you know, he's taken his L's on the chin and managed to get over in a big way through it. Let's give this guy the shot, and he's going to make that title, so it doesn't feel like it's second place anymore. But Cody, he's got to finish his story against Roman, and I think a lot of people feel that same way. So this is why I put together him winning Money in the Bank, him making his intentions known, commentary always playing up, hey, Money in the Bank is the briefcase where you can win any championship at any time within the span of a year. So I wanted to keep that going and keep that trend, and I think that that's what we can see. Once again, that's my Hail Mary. I threw it at you. Take it to the chest if you can, because if it happens, hey, I told you so. Oh man, but once again, this Monday Night Raw was a good Monday Night Raw. We got a chance to see new people get involved, like Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci of Imperium. And then we got a chance to see the debut of Zoe Stark as she picked up a win over Nikki Cross. So we're seeing new blood start to come and trickle in. We got a chance to see The Way together, Dexter Lumis, Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, and Johnny Gargano. That was cool. We're seeing the emergence of the complaint committee with Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. I'm a fan of Chelsea Green. I am. And I think that she's going to do good things for the WWE, and in her current run as a complainy Karen, it's perfect. Once again, I liked this Monday Night Raw. I liked the mix that we had in there. It was really good. And I enjoyed it. We got a chance to see Natalya come back out, and Natalya's somebody I've kind of haven't been a fan of her for the last few years. I was a huge fan of her before, but lately it just feels like she's that plug and play person, like that person that's like, okay, she can give you a pretty decent feud, but we're gonna put her up in there as somebody that still has that legacy, that still can say she's a former women's champion, and put her in there against somebody that just needs a challenger to beat. You know, and straight up, that's not hate, that's just how it feels. Like, she's credible enough to maybe make you think she might win, but really she's in there to make you believe that, and she's going to get beat because that's the role that she plays now. And it's okay. It's okay. So this is just going to be another way that we're going to continue Rhea Ripley's feud. We're going to keep her looking strong for the next month or so, and then we'll figure out what's next for her run, because I think they want to give her a good run, and I think that they're definitely going to. We saw Dominic Mysterio pick up a win against Xavier Woods. They're starting to pick up steam on Dominic Mysterio now because he's been one of the most over heels in the company. It's just the right thing to do, and we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with Xavier Woods later. Of course, you know, he wins. You know, he wins with the roll up, the move. You know, pretty much the move that Xavier Woods loves, the dreaded, deadly roll up of professional wrestling, most dangerous finishing move in professional wrestling. And yeah, that's how Dominic won. And of course, we saw Seth Rollins end up defeating Finn Balor, a rematch for the first ever Universal Championship match from years ago. Well, this one was for an opportunity to go to May 27th, to go to Saudi Arabia, Night of Champions, to face off against SmackDown's representation that we'll see on Friday, and we'll talk more about that as we look to SmackDown tomorrow night on Twitch. And we're just going to keep pushing forward and keep moving as Seth Rollins did. Now he's going to Saudi Arabia, and he awaits his Friday night opponent. And yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. Once again, I think it was a pretty good episode. We got a chance to see some new blood come out. We got a chance to see a whole lot of things happen from this show, and I really enjoyed it. Once again, we're going to see where we go here with the continuation of Friday Night SmackDown and this World Heavyweight Championship tournament. You got the 2 triple threat matches that's going to involve Bobby Lashley, Edge, AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, the United States Champion Austin Theory, and Sheamus. And I got to tell you, if they're going the heel route, because I think that the only actual heel within these ones is Austin Theory, but I don't see them doing Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins unless they want to go back and rehash a feud that they've had in the past, and call back to him being, of course, the one of the henchmen to the Messiah. But I don't know if they're going to do that. I mean, I think we could see 2 guys that are considered babyfaces go up against each other. The top thing that I would want to see is Seth Rollins going up against AJ Styles. I think that'd be cool. So. That'd be a great match. That'd be a great match over there in Saudi Arabia, and the one I definitely would like to see as far as those 2 going up against each other. But that's my pick there. That's what I would want to see. Edge and Bobby Lashley wouldn't be bad either. I don't know about Rey and Sheamus. I don't know. But my pick would definitely be it'd definitely be AJ Styles going up against Seth Rollins. So there's that. That's what I got for you guys today. And I really appreciate y'all, truly appreciate y'all giving us a listen, giving us a download. Go ahead and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. We really need that. We also need you guys to leave a comment as well. Anything that you guys can do for us, we're ramping back up, baby. So you already know them vibes. And guys, let me tell you about some other things that's going on. Of course, this is Hollywood's Tuesday solo shot. And then we're going to be on Twitch on Wednesdays. Myself and Hypocrisy Jones for In Your House Live, and then we give you In Your House Live. We transfer it to the podcast edition for Thursday morning. Then Friday you get Friday Night Hype. And guys, we're looking to do more things, maybe some watch-alongs. We're trying to plan some other things to do, give you guys some different guests. We're definitely working and moving and trying to give you guys that work any way that we can. So I got to give you my work, and that's what I do. I give you the work, and I do everything that I can. Give me a follow. That's The Hollywood House. That's on IG. It's Hollywood House on Facebook and also on Twitter. And you can follow this podcast here, In Your House. That's on all those social media platforms, all of them, the Twitter machine. You already know IG. You already know Facebook. But also go ahead and follow me and my son's gaming channel. That's Playhouse Gaming. We just put out some new content. We're trying to give you guys content Sunday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I do a Cons Classic Retro Edition on Fridays. We've been playing some WWE on Sundays, and then on Wednesday we do a little Fortnite, things that nature. I've already played Pokemon Stadium, already played Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. We're looking to maybe do a little Halo 2. Definitely a whole lot of things. I got some stuff in the works to play on this channel. We've already hit a little bit over 100 subscribers. We're starting to see some traction, y'all. So I truly appreciate everybody who subscribed to it. My son appreciates it as well. And we're just gonna keep going and keep growing. You know them vibes, Jack. And guys, you already know that's Playhouse Gaming. That's In Your House. That's Hollywood House. That's HOWSE. And the W stands for work. So once again, we truly appreciate y'all sliding through for another big episode here of Hollywood Solo Shot here In Your House. And guys, I need you to hop on this bandwagon. Get on. Are you young? As a household, we still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.